Hey guys, good morning. So I just dropped my daughter off to her first day as a dual enrolled junior. She's a junior in high school, but she started today as, I guess it's dual enrolled at a technical school for cosmetology. And she was walking away, and I could not hold it back. It was kind of like that first day of kindergarten. It just kind of hit me. And I think it hit me the hardest because she is 17 years old. She'll be 18 in November. And I always think, like, when I'm trying to help my kids through situations, or when I find myself in a situation or whatever, I look at my kids and I'm like, okay, so she's almost 18 years old. Who was I at that age, right? And holy crap, it scares me. It scares the bejesus out of me to know that they could possibly be faced with anything that I was ever faced with. And so with her, at her age, I was pregnant. I had been working for about 4 years. So I started working I was just going from 12 to 13 when I started working, and I had my own apartment. I got out of a foster home, and I was working, and paying for my own bills, and I had my own car. And so I did all that, and at such a young age, and then I look at her at 17 years old. She survived where I'm not supposed to be here, so therefore she's not supposed to be here. I was a very young mom, right? Very young mom. I beat the odds though, and that's what I wanted to come on here and talk about. I'm not gonna freaking ugly cry. I cried legit the whole way home. Holy crap. I was able to get this human being to 17 years old. She's almost 18 years old. How cool is that? That, she isn't a product of what my environment was, right? She beat the odds too, because, it wasn't so easy being a young mom. It wasn't easy at all being a young mom of 3, and I had to make a decision to not allow my kids to feel any hurt like I did, or to go through so many things that I had to go through. I didn't want them to be smoking cigarettes at 13 like me. I didn't want them to be hanging out with little jerk kids that had, no guidance or whatever in their home, so they turned out all kinds of screwed up. I didn't want my kids, I just wanted better for my kids. And so that's what I did my entire life as an adult. Since I was a mom at 18 years old, my mission was to never ever allow my kids to feel the pain or hurt or fear that I had to go through as a kid. And I turned out okay, I didn't have, everybody's like, well, how were you in a foster home and you had parents, and how is this, and how, whatever. But I left my dad when I was young to go meet my mom. On a different coast, and that's when it all began. And she's an amazing person today, but it wasn't like that growing up. So I've got lots of, there's lots of gray area in between that I'm not going to hit on here, but from the age of 11 or whatever, and coming out of that, and getting a job at 12 to 13, I can't even say half the things. Being surrounded by people that didn't make great choices, and being on public assistance when I was a single mom, going through domestic violence situations, all of these things I'm reminded of daily when I look at my kids and how happy they are and how stable they are. And the reason for me telling you all of this is I chose my hard. My hard was to work my ass off, so that my kids did not have to suffer, so that my kids did not have to grow up thinking that that was the way of life, so that my kids didn't think that you had to drop out of school at 13 and work because you had to pay for your own bills. All of these things. My kids are going to graduate. My kids, they're going to college. My kid, I had to go to a college to get my high school diploma at 22 years old. And this is where I say, choose your hard. You don't have to start off with a crappy upbringing or, insane childhood like I did. But what you do have to do is you have to choose your hard. So whatever your hard is, if you're sick and tired of living paycheck to paycheck, do something about it. If you're sick and tired of whatever relationship or situation you're in, change it. You have that choice to make. And so many of us settle and we just sit there and we accept our environment and we become a product of our environment, and you don't have to. You do not have to be a product of your environment. You can make the choice to do amazing things. You can make the choice to teach your children differently than you were raised. If you had a crappy childhood and you didn't have a good relationship with your parents, do everything opposite. Make them have a completely different childhood than you. You do not have to follow in your parents' footsteps if you do not want to. You have that choice. That is what is so cool about life. And that is what is I'm so grateful. I wake up and I pray every single morning. Thank you for waking me up, because I've been there where I didn't think I was gonna wake up the next day. I've been surrounded by people that weren't so great. I've had all of these experiences, and that's why I'm able to look at situations like, really, that's hard to you? How is that even hard? That's not hard. Freaking, we have a choice, you guys. We have all these amazing, beautiful choices. You just have to choose your hard. And so I choose my hard, and I chose it. I had to work like 16 and 18-hour days and for 12 years in a row, and I literally broke my back doing it. But guess what? I'm still here. I made that choice to go as hard as I had to get my kids away from that environment so that they never had to experience anything that I ever had to experience. And so that's what you have to do. You have to choose your hard, so that you can have a better life, so that you can have freedom of time. How beautiful is that? Who thought I'm not even supposed to be alive today? All of the things that I have experienced in my life, I'm not supposed to be alive. Who works at 13 and has their own apartment and car and smokes cigarettes, right? I'm not supposed to be here as a health and fitness coach all these years later. I'm not supposed to be here, guys. I've beat a lot of odds in my life. I did. I allowed myself to be a product of my environment for many, many years. But when I made that choice and I chose my hard was to work my ass off, to never, ever go through that, be in that environment, turn back, have my kids go through it or experience it ever again. And so whatever your hard is right now, whether it be you don't have time, so you work your butt off now so that in the future, a year or two from now, you can chill, man. You can go on family vacations. You can afford different things. You don't have to say no to your kids all the time, right? So choose your hard. Whatever situation you're in, it's not that bad, right? And if you don't believe in God, find something to believe in. But I believe in God. And so I know that when I'm faced with situations or when I have a blessing come my way, I'm thanking Him. I'm asking for guidance, because that's all that gets me, through. And to drop my daughter off at 17 years old, it made me cry today, because I realized that at her age, I had already been working for 4 years. And then to be able to, such a blessing. You guys have no idea how good you have it. So cherish those moments. Freaking choose your hard. Stop being a bunch of freaking crybabies. Okay? You can do anything. You can be anybody you want to be when you grow up. I don't care if you're in your 40s or 50s. You don't have to live the life that you're living if you're not happy. Find happiness. Choose your heart. That's all I got for you today. It's Transformation Tuesday. And my transformation came from, I can't even talk about half the stuff. But I chose my heart. And I beat the odds, and I did not allow myself to become a product of my environment any longer. I changed it. I changed my own destiny, and I did not follow in the footsteps of my parents of broken homes and all of that other stuff. And neither do you. You don't have to. And that's what you got to do. You got to make a choice. I'm going to get off here because I've got meetings to attend. That's a transformation, though. When I started my job 2.5 years ago as a fitness coach, it was by accident. I just wanted to save on my shakes. I was working 4 part-time jobs to take, care of my end of the deal. I was a full-time college student online, taking care of my 4 teenagers. And here I am today. I'm about to resign from this corporate job that I hate. And I don't even care if anybody sees this that's from my corporate job. But I'm about to resign from my last job, right? So I chose my heart, and I chose my heart was to work my ass off once again. To not have to have somebody tell me I can't come to my kids' award ceremonies or games or whatever. I am going to choose what I do with my time. I'm no longer going to allow some corporate job to dictate my life, because I've done that. I chose my heart. I already served my time. So when I came to this fitness coaching, just for the discount, it has evolved into something so much bigger, to where I'm actually going to be able to have the freedom of time and have the freedom to take days off or weeks off or whatever it is that I have to do. And I beat the odds, and so can you. And I chose my heart. My heart is working my ass off now, so that in my future, which is present, I have the freedom of time. I have the ability to go drop my daughter off to a dual enrollment to where she's going to cosmetology school, because that's what she wants to do. And that's all you got to do. I see all these people complain all the time. I said I was going to get off, but I have 2 minutes. But you guys complain, not just you specifically, a person, but people complain all the freaking time. I'm so busy, this, that, and the other. How many freaking Netflix shows do you binge watch? How many, choose your heart. Choose what you do with your time wisely, so that in the future you can have more freedom. That's all you gotta do. So over people's excuses. So many excuses. No, I hate how I feel. I hate how I look. Do something about it. Talking about it, whining about it, crying about it, obsessing over it is not going to do a damn thing. So you have to choose your heart. It's not easy to change your lifestyle. It's not easy to go from living paycheck to paycheck to being able to have financial freedom. It is not easy to live a better life, but it's worth it. And so you have to choose your freaking heart. That's what you got to do. So I got to get off here. You guys have an amazing freaking day. Tuesday life is beautiful. Thank whoever it is that you speak to. I thank God on a daily basis, because that man has worked miracles in my life. And if he hasn't worked any in yours, know that he's worked some in mine, more so than I've ever seen done. And so just thank him every single day that you wake up and you get to see your families and you get to have a job, even if it is a crappy job that you don't like. Gotta choose your heart, make a choice. All right, guys, I gotta go. I got a corporate business to go freaking meetings to go to. So have an amazing Tuesday. It's Transformation Tuesday. I would love to hear your transformations. Or if you need a transformation, I would love to talk to you about how we can work on one. So, all right, for real, I'm gone.